For today's omelet, I'm going to take a pound of chopped stew beef. They call it stew meat. It's basically just beef chopped up in little pieces already. So it's like steak. I'm going to take some diced up onions, celery, and carrots. A little bit of cheese, what's left in that baggie. And we're going to go ahead and do 1 dozen more eggs. And I'm going to make a nice steak and veggie omelet. Now, when you say omelet and you're talking about eggs, it's basically scrambling up your eggs and throwing whatever the hell you want inside. Sometimes, there's really no limit here. As somebody who's probably eaten 20,000 eggs in his lifetime, I'm going to tell you right now, these are the most versatile foods on the planet. There are thousands and thousands of ways to prepare eggs. Everything from a standard boiled egg that's great for a grab-and-go snack to massive omelets and soufflés. You can do them fried, scrambled. You can do eggs in so many different ways that I couldn't even list them all without making this video hours and hours long. So what I'm going to do is just go through a few of my favorite toss-ins, because you can toss in anything. Sausages, cheese, you can toss in veggies, you can toss in actual meats, any meats you want to do. You can cook up chicken or beef and just mix it all right in. And everything you add in changes the flavor. See, that's why eggs make a great base for a meal. They're almost like rice. Rice by itself is okay, but you can add rice to almost anything and you've got a brand new meal. Eggs, same way. They're great by themselves, but you add anything to it and it changes the flavor. It hits your palate from a different angle. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and cook the meat, and after it's nice and brown, and while it's browning, I'm going to go ahead and check my eggs, crack my eggs, and mix up my eggs, have them ready to go. And after the meat is browned out nicely, I'm going to take in about 1/3 of these veggies, toss inside so they can start steaming in the juices left over from the beef. And then once they've browned a little bit, pour the eggs right over top, and we're going to have an awesome omelet. And then once it gets nearly done, that's when I add my cheese. This is going to be a massive omelet. Keep in mind, right now I am on a muscle building regimen and diet, so I like all of this protein. Normal people don't do 12 eggs in a sitting, especially not with a pound of beef, half a cup of cheese, and a whole bowl full of veggies. We're going to let that brown over a little bit more. We don't want to overdo it. A little pink in the meat is perfectly fine. Then we're going to toss in our veggies. Sprinkle them lightly all over the top here. We're going to mix them in and let them steam. And these veggies are going to brown over. You're going to get a nice flavor and new texture added from this. Fun fact, if you're wanting to make steak sandwiches, this is also how I do my sandwiches. I start with a similar process to this. Alright, now that we're done here, in come the eggs. And out comes a beautiful omelet in a minute. First we gotta let her sizzle back down. Stir it all up, get it all mixed in there real nice. Oh, it's looking good. You know what I like to add in? Call me crazy, but I don't need extra salt. The meat has all the salt I need. But a bit of pepper sprinkled right over top here. Get it good and in there. A little bit of spiciness. And then we scrape. Okay, we still have some moisture here. You can see the glaze over top, and we want that when we start to add the cheese. We want that. And then we mix her on up. Now at this point, we turn the heat off. Boom. And we don't want to leave it in this pan for much longer. We do not, under any circumstances, want to cook out all of the water. We want it to still be a little wet like it is right here, guys. For today's omelet, we're going to do a pepperoni pizza omelet minus the sauce. Now you can add the sauce, but for today, I'm not going to. I'm just going to do 2 ounces of pepperoni. I buy the slices and chop it up. Today I'm using a Colby and Monterey Jack blend. And then of course my dozen eggs. Let's begin. I'm going to go ahead and start sprinkling in all of my beautiful pepperoni. Oh, it's going to be so good. If you've never tried pepperoni in your eggs, you are seriously missing out. Oh, it smells like pepperoni pizza. Now it's time to add the cheese. Alright, let's get this plated and we'll see a picture of the final. Oh, that looks so tasty. We're going to pour in our eggs. Now these are already hot, so they'll sizzle right up. In we go. We'll let our eggs do their magic. And then, immediately, we go to scraping it out. Now, while they're still nice and shiny, we're going to remove them from the heat. They continue to cook, but we want them to go ahead and not cook all the moisture out. In a second, we'll see the finished product after we dice up the sausages and mix it all in. Today we're going to do Dr. Seuss eggs. So I've already got my dozen eggs inside. Next up, we're going to take some baby spinach leaves. And I'm going to finish filling this guy up with a shit ton of spinach. If you've ever read Dr. Seuss, you already know all about the green eggs. Yeah, baby. Let's talk about tastiness. And these will be actual green eggs once we finish. Now, I'm using my little 900 watt Ninja to do the mixing. We'll save this for salad later. Nice and snug, and then flip it over, shake it up a little because we want to get it mixy. And then mix it a little, shake it up a little, mix it some more. Now look at that. Does that not look tasty as hell? Of course it does. We're going to open her back up, then we're going to throw in our spices. Which for today is just going to be some simple salt and pepper. What can I say? I'm an easygoing guy when it comes to most of my spices. Doesn't take a whole lot of salt. And it doesn't take a whole lot of pepper. You'll do this to taste. So however much you want to put in there, that's what you put in there. In addition, we're going to go ahead and do a 1/4 cup of cheese today. We don't need the whole 1/2 cup today. We'll do a 1/4 cup. Boom. The reason we're doing it this way instead of putting it on top of the pan is because I like for my green eggs to have a solid consistency. Nice and snug. Now, these guys are ready for the pan. You scramble just like any other scrambled egg omelet, and then we'll get straight to the picture after that. If you like to garnish it, go ahead and cook you some fresh breakfast ham, and then you can really have Dr. Seuss's meal, green eggs and ham.